What's happening, everybody? Boy Big Brandoh, and welcome to another episode of Bullshitting with Brandoh. Now, for this one, I wanted to talk about something that I learned the hard way, and a lot of you guys might fall into the same category, a lot of you might not. But what I wanted to talk about is pretty much humbling yourself when you start these businesses and start these brands. I found out the hard way, and it was pretty much a slap in the face. You know what I mean? So this is years ago, early 2000s. I'm getting going. I have a decent brand going where the buzz that I have built around this brand is decent. It's nothing crazy, but I'm doing okay money wise. You know what I mean? I'm getting sales. I'm kind of doing the custom t-shirt stuff on the side. I'm also running a brand at the same time. So I'm running two different businesses, but they're kind of intermingling, if you will. You know what I mean? So at this time, I'm really into sneakers. I'm kind of doing my thing. And one of my homeboys, shout out to Kev. I don't know if you watch this. I don't know if you even know what I'm doing over here. But shout out to Kev. He used to be from Soul to Soul, which used to be this kind of sneaker group that was just a lot of like-minded people that were into sneakers sharing information on the internet a while ago. I don't even know if it's still around anymore. But Kev hit me up and was like, hey, I'm going to be going to Texas to the sneaker convention or the sneaker show. Just want to know if you want to go. We're going to have a table. There's room for you if you wanted to set up. You could roll out there with us and we'll be going. He was going to sell some shoes and I was going to be bringing t-shirts and stuff to sell from my brand. Now, when going out there, I thought I was already big time. I'm thinking that I'm going to go out there, kill it. I'm doing this shit. I'm rolling with the homie Kev, and I thought everything was going to be moving. The part of Texas that we went to was, I think it was San Antonio. It's wherever the Riverwalk was, and there was something else. There's like, is it the Alamo? I think it was. Correct me if I'm wrong. But these are the things that I remember from going out there. There's a place called the Riverwalk that had like a bunch of restaurants and stuff close to where we're staying at and close to where the sneaker show was going to be at. So we get out there. The event's going to be on Saturday. We get out there, I think Thursday night, Thursday afternoon or evening time. And we kind of get settled in. We meet up with some of Kev's homies and we go out to eat. We're kind of just hanging out, doing our thing. You know what I mean? So I'm already in business mode. Like when I'm doing this, once we get out there, I'm already like in the zone of trying to promote and trying to slap hands with everybody. And I'm just thinking networking. I'm out here on a business trip. That's what I'm thinking in my head, right? If I would have went into this with the mentality of, hey, let's just go out here and have a good time and see what we can make of the situation, by all means, I would have had a way better experience than what happened. So we get out there and I'm slapping hands with everybody Kev's introducing me to, and we're just having a good time, just vibing, you know what I mean? But every chance I get, I'm trying to bring up my brand. And just as a caveat or kind of like a side note, I'm not going to mention the brand name because it's still in operation to today, and contractually I can't speak about the brand name and stuff like that. But I could just give you the scenario, and if you were there, obviously you remember this time. So going back, I'm trying to bring up the brand any chance I get. You know, oh, I got this brand, this and that. It's cutting edge. This is like the new shit. I'm starting this movement, and this is a whole lifestyle. It's not just a brand. It's not just this. I'm starting a really big movement in California, LA. I'm doing this. So I'm out here in Texas really trying to pump this thing up. And, you know, some people are entertaining me and some people are kind of just brushing me off because I'm coming off like a salesman. And I get it now. But at the time, I just thought people were trying to be dicks to me. You know what I mean? And I'm obviously just very, very excited to speak about the brand and pretty much promote any chance I got. What I didn't understand was there's a time and place for that kind of stuff. There's certain conversations to be had to talk about stuff like that. But if it's just a general setting and everybody's just kind of hanging out, drinking beers and, you know, not even talking about business or anything related to that, and I'm over here trying to interject in the conversation like, yeah, I got this brand, this and that, and I'm trying to just, I'm pumping myself up way too much. You know what I mean? And a lot of people come off that way when they speak to me now. And it's, you know, I get it because you're very excited. You're very, you know, enthusiastic about your brand. And it's everything that you have going at the moment. You're just letting it all out at that one time. So I totally understand that now. Back then I didn't, because I was just like everybody else. And I was really really trying to pump this thing up. And I'm thinking like, I don't know who I'm meeting, so I want to make the best impression. That's what I was thinking to these people and be like, oh man, he's a hustler. He's out here doing this. He's grinding. He's all the way from LA. He's out here in San Antonio or forget whatever part of Texas we're at. But we're doing this thing. You know what I mean? And I'm thinking like, oh, they just going to think like, oh, a LA brand out here making moves. That wasn't the case, you know what I mean? They didn't know that I was out there sharing a free table with the homie Kev. They didn't understand none of that. They didn't know that my inventory was deep, but at the same time, it was way too deep for the table we had. So that was Thursday. When we get in, you know, we slap hands. Friday, we do the sightseeing thing and we kind of get out and just spend the day in Texas, right? So same thing. We're out, we're eating, and I'm trying to talk to everybody about the business. And I could tell Kev and all his homies from Soul to Soul is kind of getting annoyed a little bit with me bringing it up every single time. And Kev, in a nice way, Kev kind of pulls me to the side and is just like, hey, you know, we're just vibing. Didn't say don't promote the brand, but basically he was saying, stop with the sales pitch. You know what I mean? I still didn't get the hint though. I was like, man, you don't know what you're talking about because you don't own a brand. You know what I mean? They had the business from Soul to Soul where they're slanging sneakers and stuff like that, but it wasn't, you know, I thought my brand business was bigger than what they were doing. Obviously I was wrong because they went off to do some really crazy shit, but I'm personally thinking, oh man, Kev, you don't know what you're talking about. This is just how brand owners operate. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. I need to network with everybody. I need to meet everybody, and I need to let everybody know what I'm about. That's what my mentality at the time was. So if you're going through this currently, all you got to do is just pump the brakes a little bit and understand that there's a time and place for all of that. Obviously, you're very excited about the brand like I was, but there is a time and place when to bring it up and when to do your quote unquote networking. You know what I mean? So I'm out there trying to talk to everybody. If it's a waiter, waitress, if it's the host sitting us at the restaurant, if there's people in the booth next to me, I'm talking about it. You know what I mean? And I'm just all over the place. But my sales pitch was really crazy. Like, this is going to be the new movement. This is a new lifestyle brand coming out of Los Angeles. I'm pretty much gassing myself up like I'm going to be the next big shit, which wasn't the case, right? So that was all Friday. We go out for drinks Friday night, and I'm still doing the same thing. And I'm thinking, at the time, I honestly thought I was doing it. You know what I mean? I'm getting a couple numbers. I'm getting some emails. We're going back and forth with a lot of people, so I'm feeling like I'm on. You know what I mean? I'm doing my thing. I'm talking to everybody, and it's just the situation was perfect in my head. That wasn't the case though, because Kev, the Soul to Soul crew, everybody's already annoyed. Like, by the time it's Friday night and we're going out and I'm still woofing all this same shit, they're kind of like, hey man, like, you need to calm down with the shit. Just have a good time. Get out here, get these drinks. But the crazy part was, now that it's Friday, majority of the people that's coming from out of state for this show, which happens on Saturday, they're all there now. So now it's an even bigger group of people that's out there just vibing. So there's so many new people that I need to give my sales pitch to. And me personally, I'm just like, oh man, this is the best shit ever. Because I'm like, hey, I'm starting this new movement. I'm starting this new line. I got this thing going. You can't, man, when you guys see my shit tomorrow, it's going to be crazy. And in my head, I'm thinking like my displays are off the hook. I'm thinking all my t-shirts are going to be selling out. I'm thinking about, going back to LA first class just because I made, like 10, 11 grand in that one day. Obviously that didn't happen, but that's what I'm thinking Friday night. Drinking, hanging out, meeting a lot of cool people. Obviously meeting people that I've seen when they come to California, and we kind of, it used to be a thing when you used to buy sneakers and somebody would come from out of town. You would kind of show them around, take them out to the bar, take them all to the local sneaker shops, and you just vibe. That used to be something that Kev used to take me around, like, hey, so-and-so's here from New York. You want to go around with us? We're going to be walking around. Either we'll be on Fairfax or maybe we'll be out on Brea. Whatever it was. That used to be a cool thing to do. So there's some people that I've met previously because of that. And then now, we're all in Texas and we're all not from here. The people that are from Texas are kind of just vibing and hanging out. So myself, Kev, and then one of his other homies, I forget his name, we're at the bar and his homie tells me straight up and down, like, hey, you gotta relax with the sales pitch. You gotta calm the shit down. Like, there's a lot of people that's just, thinking you're a weirdo. And I'm like, oh, man, you don't understand. I'm like, Kev, tell this fool, man. Like, tell him what I be doing in LA. Tell him. And I'm just gassing myself up, like super hyped up, you know what I mean? And Kev kind of just stands back and is just like, you're your own man. You talk for yourself. If he's saying, you're coming off a certain way, obviously he's from the outside looking in and he's trying to give you some good advice right now. So I'm like, oh, Kev don't got my back because he's part of your crew. So, obviously you're going to have his back or whatever. I took it kind of personal, but at the same time, in the back of my head, I'm like, man, am I really coming off like an idiot right now and rubbing the people the wrong way? So I said, hey, you know what? I respect that. This and that. I'm going to calm down. I'm gonna relax on the shit. So I kept it quiet the rest of the night. And obviously it was eating me up on the inside. I'm talking and hanging out with drinking a couple beers and obviously there's a lot of sneaker talk, so I engage with the sneaker talk, but there's times where I feel like I could actually say, hey, man, I got this shirt that's going to match those sneakers, but I'm like, oh, I don't want to say nothing. I'm just going to prove them wrong tomorrow, which was Saturday, at the show. They're going to see all the products. They're going to see the display, and it's going to blow these fools away. So I'm thinking like very cocky. I'm like, oh, man, I'm just going to show and prove. I'm going to let my products speak for themselves. I'm thinking like people are just going to be swarming the booth. You know what I mean? That's what I was thinking and how I was feeling at the time was just the booth is going to be just surrounded by people trying to get my products, and they're not going to be able to sell their sneakers because I'm going to need all that table space for my booths. That obviously I was daydreaming, but Friday night, that's all I'm thinking is like, fuck, I'm about to show these motherfuckers. They don't know what I'm talking about. They don't understand how I do this. This brand is it. And so obviously Friday, done. Saturday comes around and we're headed to the convention center, or I don't know if it was like the hall area where we're going to be setting up. We get there a little early to start setting up displays before the show opens up. And I have the thing on a little fold-out dolly, like a hand truck, all my boxes, crates, all that stuff. We're wheeling it over there. They got a big-ass dolly, like a thing that's just filled up with sneakers. They got this spider web net over it so the sneakers don't fall over, and we're pushing it through. So we get to the hall, we're setting up, we find the booth, and it's just basically a 6-foot table. That's all the real estate that we have, and obviously the shoes take up more space than the t-shirts. So I have like maybe 2 feet out of the 4 feet because they got their stuff tiered up, like they stacked up the shoe boxes to make little steps so they could put the shoes on top. And then obviously my display, a lot of the shirts were folded up, and I thought I was gonna kill them because I had a couple shirts that match certain sneakers. So it would be like, let's say Cool Gray 11s, boom, I had the t-shirt that matched the Cool Gray 11s perfectly. I'm talking to the exact Pantone color, just perfectly. You know what I mean? So I have that shirt, boom, have the Cool Gray sitting on top of it, like, oh, that shit's gonna kill right there. Same thing goes for the SBs, De La Souls. The De La Soul High was like a shoe that not a lot of people could find stuff that matched because it was like crazy earth tone colorways. If you don't know what it is, you could Google it. Same with the Cool Gray 11s, but the De La's were like a brown, green. I think they had a little bit of orange, some yellow on the back. Really wild shoe. Had some elephant print. It was just a crazy shoe. So I had that one. Boom. T-shirt to match. Perfect. Spot on. Boom. Had that up. So I thought that display right there was going to kill everybody else's shit. That wasn't the case, but in my head, that's what I thought what was happening. So I folded up the rest of the shirts. I had them all displayed okay, but it was just flat on the table. Nothing was up like in my head. I felt like the table was going to be slanted for whatever reason. So I thought if I folded the shirt into like a cool little square or rectangle and put the shoe on top, it was going to be like this, like at an angle. And then people would see the shoe, they would see the shirt, and then, you know what I mean? Oh, shit. So it'll be all good. Not the case, and it didn't work out that way. So it was laying flat, so obviously display didn't work too much. But I got everything out. All my products, I had everything. I had boxes up under the table, boxes behind us. And we were cool. We were cool in the sense of set up and ready. Another thing that I didn't have prepared was a banner of some sort that said the brand name. I had business cards. I didn't have stickers. I had business cards, I think, and that was it. There was like nothing else that I had. Oh, I had the homies from 110 South. I had some of their stickers, so I was promoting them out there just off the faith of being down with them too. So I had their stickers. I had my business cards for the brand. I had all my t-shirts, obviously. And then they had sneakers on their side. They had a banner on the back that was hanging from the grid. Their shit was set up dope. My shit, not so much because I was unprepared for what I was doing. So the show goes. They open the doors up. And everybody is starting to funnel into the hall or the convention center, I guess, if you want to call it that. Just the area that we were at. And, you know, obviously tables snaking around everywhere. There's kids walking around with boxes of sneakers and they're selling. If you've been to a Dunk Exchange or a Kickspo or a Sneaker Pimps or something like that, it's basically the same thing. But this, I forget the name of this show, but it wasn't as big or popular as those. So I'm waiting for people just to swarm the table like I envisioned, right? I was thinking people were just going to see the t-shirt that matched the cool gray, the t-shirt that matched the daylight, and be like, oh shit, I never seen a shirt that matched it dead on. Not the case. I'm sitting there and, you know, I'm just hanging out. We're talking and I'm a lot more quiet today than I was the first day that we got in because of the negative feedback I was getting from my conversations I was having before, right? So obviously I feel some sort of way to Kev's homeboy. But I'm still in the moment. I'm still, you know, keeping it cool because obviously they invited me out. Talking, hanging out, no customers, no nothing, right? And I'm just like, yo, like what the hell is going on right now? So I stand up, I'm behind the table, and now I'm trying to get people to come to the table. You know what I mean? Like, yo, check out these shirts. Yo, check out these shirts. Say if somebody had a pair of sneakers on that I knew I had a shirt for, I'd be like, yo, you wearing these? I got this shirt. Check this shit out. Hey, you got these on right here? Come here. Let me. And I was trying to pull people towards the table, right? Which was cool. And by the time I got them to the table, or at least walking towards me, I hit them with, hey, this is the new movement right here, man. This is a lifestyle brand. This shit right here is the biggest shit in LA. Blah, blah, blah. Gassing myself up. That's what I was hitting them with. First thing they do is look at the shirts and say, all right, cool. And then just keep walking, right? Nobody even bothered to say, damn, those match. The daylight's perfect. Or damn, that gray is spot on with the cool grays. None of that shit. Didn't even go down the way I was envisioning how everything was going to work. So myself, I'm like, yo, these people are blind out here in Texas. Like, they don't know sneakers. I'm on the defense now. I'm getting mad because nothing's going as planned. You know what I mean? And so one of the dudes that I had met the night before, just another sneaker dude, I think he was from like New York or Philly or something like that, comes to the table, slaps hands with everybody's like, oh shit, is this the new shit right here? This is the new movement? So obviously he's gassing me and I'm like, oh shit, yeah man, this is it right here. Check it out. Check out this shirt, check out this shirt. Oh, you rocking these? Look what I got for those. Boom. And I'm showing them. And I'm still pitching them. I'm like, yeah, this is the new shit right here, man. Ain't nobody doing this right here. And the one thing that he hit me with that pretty much kicked me in the nuts was, he said, what are you doing different? All you're doing is selling screen printed t-shirts. And that right there, I felt every emotion in my whole body just leave. Like, I felt empty as shit, man. And I know there's a lot of people that hate my cursing, but with this, when he told me that, I had literally no rebuttal for him. I literally had no explanation for what he just said. And he pretty much just said, hey, you're selling t-shirts? So is that dude. So is that dude. So is that dude. What are you doing different than the rest of these dudes? The whole time I was caught up in my own head. The whole time I'm caught up and I'm just thinking like, oh man, like what I'm doing, nobody else is doing. And I forgot that there's a million other t-shirt brands out there. There's a million people out there doing it. We probably all don't design the same. Sometimes we might have the same idea, but there's a million other people. At the end of the day, all we're doing is printing on a blank t-shirt and putting it out to the world. There's no movement behind it. There's no lifestyle change. There's no innovative, new fucking invention. It's a t-shirt with screen print or vinyl or DTG or plastisol transfer, whatever. That's all it is. This shit humbled the hell out of me. Like, I'm talking, I felt defeated. Like, you could pretty much take a spatula and just peel me off the floor is how little I felt, man. And after he said that, everybody's laughing and joking around and at my expense. And I'm trying to hide the shit, and I'm laughing along like, oh man, like, ain't nobody making t-shirts like me, or whatever my comeback was, which I know was pretty bogus. And Kev kind of pulled me to the side, and he was just like, I understand what you're feeling, but at the same time, you need to be here and selling. Keep selling, keep doing this. And Kev was down enough to give me the pep talk that I needed, but at the same time, in the back of my head, I knew that I was out of my league. But not out of my league as like selling t-shirts, but I was just so pumped up on myself and gassing myself up that I thought I was bigger than what I really was. And that's the part that I understood in my head, right? Obviously, I made a shirt that matched a certain pair of sneakers that was, boom, it was spot on. It was perfect. But it wasn't nothing crazy. It wasn't anything like what I was pumping it up to be. So obviously my display didn't live up to the hype of who I was gassing up the night before. I was really in the bar trying to sell everybody, man. And I was, wait till you see my shit, man. It's going to be crazy. Wait till you see what I brought out here to Texas, man. You ain't never seen nothing like this. And this is dating to back when matching your sneakers with your t-shirt, with your hat or whatever was a popular thing, man. Like nowadays, people don't match for nothing because that's just the normal, right? You could wear a pair of orange sneakers and then you could have on like a purple and brown t-shirt or some shit. I don't know what your kids are wearing nowadays, so I can't really talk, and I sound like an old head saying that, but this is dating to when you matched with what you wore. You know what I mean? If you had a pair of neon 95s, obviously your hat was going to be gray and neon green, or your shirt was, or whatever it was. So at this time, that was just a big deal to me. You know what I mean? And to my area of matching and just really coordinating everything you wore. But I wasn't doing anything crazy. One, the shirts that I brought that match were the same color, but it was just a logo t-shirt of the brand name, and that was it. Obviously, the everything else that I brought was a logo t-shirt that was just in the colorway of a popular sneaker. That's all basically it was. You know what I mean? I had a few other designs that I brought that were decent, that did fairly well, and those are the ones that sold the most. My bangers that I thought were like really bangers of a t-shirt design, obviously just a basic logo t-shirt with a fancy colorway to match some shoes. It didn't go so well, man, and it was a real kick in the pants because I'm leaving Texas after the show. I only made a few $100, and that was like pity money at the time. You know what I mean? Because I'm thinking, I thought I was coming home with like 11 grand because I'm calculating all the stuff I brought, and I'm thinking I'm going to sell out. And I go home with all my boxes and crates. Nothing was empty. You know what I mean? Like I said, I made a few $100 and that was cool. But I was just, what I went home with was a lot more information on what the customer wants and a lot more information on how to present myself and my brand. That was the biggest humbling experience of just being in t-shirts and doing things. Is you get so hyped up on what you're creating, what you're working on, but the market will never lie to you. You know what I mean? It's like you put something out, and if the people like it, consumers or whoever like it, the market, they will respond to what you put out. They'll buy whatever you're selling and they'll react to it. If you put something out and nobody buys it, that's the market telling you like, hey, maybe this ain't for this group or this certain audience. You know what I mean? It's not doing anything, so maybe you should pull it back, tweak it a little bit, and then put it out again, or just scrap that and put something else out. The market will never lie to you. You know what I mean? So if you overly hype your brand, and it's very easy to do that now with social media, you have to be able to live up to that brand. You know what I mean? And I'm not bashing anybody that does this. Obviously, if you're full of yourself in the sense of you're just very confident in what you're providing, cool, man. There's nothing wrong with that. I fully back that. But at the same time, you have to, come to grips with reality and understand how the business works and how people work in general. You know what I mean? Not everybody wants to be sold something. And that's something that I took away from that was I could just let my products do the speaking for me instead of me just trying to shove it down somebody's throat. You know what I mean? Because then at that point, people are just defensive, like, all right, cool it with all that. I heard it once. I don't need to hear it no more. And I noticed that customers and just the general public, they react better when they're not trying to be sold something. They usually tend to reach for their wallet when they know they're not being sold on something. That's because they genuinely have an interest in a product. And ever since then, since that time, early 2000s, that was just an eye-opener for myself. You know what I mean? I'm not big in the sneaker world. I'm not big in this group or anything like that, or I'm not even a big brand. But I just understand that, when you create something from home, obviously you always think it's dope because you created that with your bare hands. You know what I mean? That's something that you built from the ground up. So obviously you're going to be proud about it. But it's one thing to be proud and there's one thing to be cocky about the shit. So if you're in this same situation right now, take a step back and all you got to do is just let your product speak for themselves. You know what I mean? They'll sell themselves. If they're dope, the market will tell you they're dope. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode right here. It was pretty crazy for me to even share that story because, that was like a downfall. I got a shitload more of those types of stories, but that was just one of the biggest humbling experiences that I've had that I wanted to share with you guys, all right? Catch you guys on the next one. If you want to continue the conversation, leave it in the comments. Like I said, I go back with everybody, back and forth. You know what I mean? Catch you guys on the next one. Yeah.